I'm Linda Thornhill, and currently serving at Territorial Headquarters as the Mission Evangelism and Cultural Ministries Secretary, along with my husband, who is...
Well, my name is Chris Thornhill, and as Linda stated, along with my wife, we are the Mission Evangelism and Cultural Ministries Secretaries.
We've been on the field for 23 years, I think. We have core ministry at heart. We love being corps officers. We love being with people, and so just learning a different way to minister to people.
I am Ella Thornhill. I am a junior in high school. I go to Duluth High School, and these are my parents. I have 2 older brothers, and I am on my high school's marching band.
We also have 2 older children. We have Christopher Chase, who is finishing up his master's work at UNC School of Arts, focusing on the trombone. And then our middle son, Caleb, is a senior at University of Louisville and studying to be a history teacher.
He's studying secondary education right now.
Yeah, and he's also in the Kentucky National Guard, Army National Guard.
But when we got engaged in January of '97, we started to discuss what might this look like down the road. How many children are we looking at? Originally, I was telling Ella this the other day, originally we had thought about having maybe 4 children. Now, I grew up in a family of 5 with 3 children, and Linda grew up in a family of 4 with 2 children. And so we decided to go with the number of 3 and just sort of play it by then and see what
I think we really
happened.
wanted 2 children, but I had 2 boys, and I really wanted a girl. So
my way sounded nicer.
Yeah, so we prayed about it and decided to take a gamble, and God gave us our girl. We were talking about this at dinner the other night about what being a parent is, and I think that being a parent is guiding part of you along to be better than you, and our parenting journey has been such a learning experience because we were kids ourselves. I was 23 when we had Chase, and still learning who I was, and then I get married, and then I have a child. And so really for me, parenting has been looking at my children and trying to make them better than who I am.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go ditto, but, for me, as a father to 3 of the most incredible people I'll ever meet.
Yeah.
And I've met a lot of great people, but none better than Chase, Caleb, and Ella. As a father, as a parent, I feel my goal in life is to share the very best parts of me, and for Linda to share the very best parts of her into our 3 children. But for me, parenting is just giving the very best and having them be a reflection of the very best parts of me, not to make it it's not about me, it's about them. And if we can make them, help them see the very best parts of themselves and learning through the challenges, the successes, the failures, and how to be a believer in all of that, well, we've done a pretty good job. I think that's what parenting is.
When I think now about, I see how people parent now with their kids, I wish that I would have listened less to what everybody else was saying, because you can see on social media that, this is wrong, or you're doing this. I wish that I just would have compared myself less to others, like they have the perfect family, or because ultimately they don't. And I just think that I was really hard on myself and created a lot of depression, really, for myself, because I didn't see myself being the mom that I should have been for them. So really for me, I think it was, if I could tell young parents today one thing, it's be a parent to that child. And people are going to offer advice and they're going to say, do it this way. But you know what's right for you and you know what's right for your kids. And don't let anybody else make you feel bad or less than, because this is what you choose to do for your family.
Yeah, I think if I go back and think about the things that I could change, or if I could talk to my younger self and how I'd move forward as a father, I wouldn't change anything. I'm awesome. I go everywhere.
Dad of the year.
I am dad of the year. I am
You need
humble.
to ask our kids this.
That's right. Now,
Stop
I think if I could go back and probably change or advise, it'd be just don't get strung out on the small stuff. That, there's a lot of small stuff between couples that we will explode into something big.
Oh my gosh, over stupid
and
things.
These are dumb things. And it's really kind of funny. It's the little things
that turn into huge.
That people will break up over. Divorces have been over cups of coffee. I mean, it sounds absurd, but it's true.
So I'm 5 years younger than my middle brother and 8 years younger than my oldest brother. I wasn't really close with them, but once we got older, once I turned 7 years old, my brother started realizing, oh, we can throw her off the bed now because she's not going to go tattle, Mom. So every time they come and visit, they're always wanting to come into my room and hang out with me. And now we have a much stronger relationship. I'm always texting their girlfriends because I love them, because they want me to. I have a really good relationship with my brother Caleb's girlfriend, and that is giving me a stronger relationship with my brothers because they're letting me have a life with their person.
Yeah. Yeah.
As we get older, as parents, you start to see, when you find out you're having a kid, you're having children, and however that information comes to you, you immediately start thinking, well, what am I going to do now? That is not the end. That's not even the beginning. You're just barely cracking the book at that point. And, what do you want from them? Well, I want them to be themselves. I want them to be the very best person that they can be, a good citizen, to love people, to love their country, to love God. And when they have relationships, to love their friends. And when they have those deep relationships that turn into, dating or engagements and marriage, to love voracious, just love fiercely, passionately, to love family, to want to have something to do with us when they are married and have children. That was my biggest fear, is that they wouldn't want anything to do with us. And now at times it's almost like they want more to do with us, which is really weird. And I'm still learning how to accept that. But I'm just so, that's all I want. For me, that's my goal for them, is number one, to love Jesus. And we told them this growing up. If you love Jesus, in your heart and accept him as your Savior, and what all that means, everything, and love people, everything else will fall into place. It really will. It sounds crazy. It sounds very offhandish, but it's very true. If you put those priorities right, everything else will fall into place.
my greatest hope is that my kids will not forget about me, that they will want to come home and see mom and dad, and they'll want to continue to have a relationship with us once they're out on their own. Of course, mom and dad will go and visit them, but I hope that they want to see all three of them together. I go on at least once a year a vacation with my brother because I love being with his family. I love our families being together. We try to do the same thing with Chris's sisters once a year. And I hope that for our children, I hope that they want to get together as adults and have all of their children get together and just realize that family is not just about your core, your husband and your wife. It's about your siblings as well. So I hope they nurture their relationships with their siblings beyond what it is now.
I'm glad that they just didn't let me do whatever I want at any time. They were always like, Ella, we're gonna let you do this, but you have to call us. Where you can go to this sleepover, but you can't be willy-nilly.
Yeah.
You can go in the streets and play with your friends, but you have to be here at this time. You can't be out all night. You have to come back always when the street lights come on, because number one, that's usually when dinner starts, and we have to know where you are. So that's one of the reasons why they gave me a phone, and I'm just thankful that they did that. Mm-hmm. So I'm not somewhere on the streets. Where the heck am I?
Yeah. We do always want to know where our kids are and what they're doing, and they didn't always like that, but we wanted them to know that it's not always a safe world and not everybody loves them. So
I like to say they're not helicopter parents, but I'm glad they were fidget spinnering over me. They were protecting me, but letting me have some freedom.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that as a parent that I've loved, and it's really in our occupation, it's the biggest challenge that a lot of Salvation Army officer parents have, is spending time with your family or supporting your children in whatever venture that they're in. When Chase was in high school, he ran track. He ran track in high school and college as well. And he would have track meets every week. And that was a difficult season not for him. He was having time of his life, but it was a difficult season for Linda and for me. And Linda knew that I needed a way to not be at the office. Mm-hmm. So every week, I was a track dad, and they knew I was there. Even before high school and junior high school, we were always doing things like that together, or I was always supporting them in there. And it came to a point, I remember I was just talking about this the other day, there was one track meet I couldn't make. And it's even beyond track. When Caleb played football and baseball, I was his coach. And with Ella at band practices, and we try to hit most football games with all three of them as they've been in band. There was one that I just couldn't be. And I said, Chase, I'm sorry, I can't be there. And this is when I knew we were doing it right. He said, Dad, it's okay. You're at every other one. We know you would be there. I know you would be there if you could be, but you have something else going on. It's okay.
Yeah, I think our kids had to know that they were always our priority. We've been called into ministry. We've been called to do what God has laid before us through the Salvation Army. But our greatest gifts are our children. So we always made sure that one of us was there for their events, whatever it was, Ella, a dance or gymnastics, or our children came first. And we may not have always both been able to be there, but one of us was there. And we always celebrated their achievements and their accomplishments. And I think that most of the time, when in the church setting, our people wanted us to be there for our kids too. They didn't want us to lose that time, because our kids are just our kids for such a small amount of time. We can't take that for granted.
Yeah, it got to be where people would even ask. They stopped asking where I was.
Yeah.
And that was a program night when Chase would have his track meets or baseball games. They stopped asking where I was because they knew where I would be. And they said, well, now we know where he is.
Yeah.
Or if there was a recital and we were able to be there, we were both able to be there. One of us was always there. Ella was just so little at the time, but she knew, and even in this season of our life now where we're required to do a lot of traveling, while we're recording this now, we're making plans for Linda to go one way and Chris is going another way, but we're going to be there for Ella.
Yep.
And she knows that if we can make it happen, and it's not about convenience for us, because it's not convenient to be a parent. It's just not. But it's the greatest joy I'll ever have.
Yeah.
It'll be the one that I cherish till my dying day.
Yeah.
The best title I could ever be called is Dad.
Bro.
Our bruh.